Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll start out by talking a little bit about impediments to lending, and one of which obviously is collateral. Kind of traditional way that you would envision a mortgage or a business loan. Go to the bank, you can put the land up as collateral. In the case of tribal entities and certainly certain individuals, the federal government, because they retain title, has created an impediment to traditional lending. Would you agree with that, Ms. Sanders?
We've found that it has been a challenge, and there have been a few lending institutions that have actually stepped forward to work with tribes and understand the complexities of the land and trust versus being able to use that as collateral. But we do have a lot of subject matter experts within our department that would be happy to sit down and go over the specifics of how best to approach this, and or bring more of their particular expertise through their experiences with the challenges that tribes have brought to them that might be a little bit more appropriate.
From my experience, one of the best outlets is working with a local community banker who lives in the community, probably works very closely every day with members of the tribe. And we have one banker in north central North Dakota who has done many home mortgages on trust land. He's never had a foreclosure. In part because that's what community banks do. They engage in relationship banking. And I think that the more we can work with community banks to create programs that give them the certainty, the better we're going to be in terms of providing capital, get that capital right at home. One of the concerns that I've had about economic development on the reservations over my time period in public life has been, well, let's put this plant there, and that's where folks are going to work. No one ever asks them, is that what you want to do with your day? I mean, it's very paternalistic. A lot of economic development in the past has been very paternalistic, and that's why I really applaud both the chairman and the vice chairman for introducing bills that look towards entrepreneurship, look towards building that business ability, because we know in today's world we can do a lot of things in rural America and tribal America if we just have the resources and the infrastructure. The concerns that I have is that every agency seems to have a program. I think you would get my tribes in North Dakota to say that USDA has been almost more significant of a partner in economic development than any other federal agency, because USDA provides the lending for infrastructure. One of the concerns that we have been talking a lot about is the lack of infrastructure, whether it's broadband, whether it is just roads and bridges, whether it's hospitals, whether it's schools, and what impact that has on business development. So it's not that we can just look at business development or adopting a UCC or doing all of those things that will guarantee to lenders that there is rule of law. The question is, what is it that people want to do? And it seems to me that Mr. Waterman, that there is a real wealth of information in Indian country that doesn't get dispersed very well. That we don't apply best practices in terms of tribal development and tribal member development. How do we bridge that? How do we have a broader platform for all the good things that are happening so that they can be shared in ways that could achieve broader economic development goals for all tribes?
Mr. Chairman and Senator, that's a tough question, but from the National Center, we have our periodic reservation economic summits, and it's a big forum and venue to bring all the different parties together to talk all about the success stories and things that are happening in Indian country. Indian economic development and community development has been a challenge, whether it's access to capital, the availability of land, the varying rules and regulations and law, and so it is a big challenge. And so I know that our group, along with the other national Indian organizations, we try to bring all the different parties together and talk about the success stories, and we do showcase that we have an annual Reservation Economic Summit Conference, and we try to highlight, all the good things, whether it's someone acquired a huge loan or someone was able to create a business where it has a lot of jobs. And so it's just more communication and all of us working together. Yes, there's over 567 different tribes, but the forums that are out there, we need to communicate more. And that's what we do with the National Center. We try to highlight again. And so there's challenges in everything,
I'm out of time, but I think it would be interesting from that gathering to do a look back. What were the obstacles? What were the biggest impediments that successful Indian businesses have had? And how do we overcome those kind of in a generality? Because we won't be able to attach or attack all of them, but to get at these impediments that could be limiting everybody uniformly, I think would be pretty critical. But entrepreneurship, it seems to me that if we're going to grow tribal America, we've got to start at home.